Hello, 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 hello. It is Wednesday, the 5th of November, and my name is Victoria Seed. I am coming to you live from the Vesta Approach in Manchester. The weather is very changeable. It's cold. I have my little radiator on next to me. What do I do? So I help women who are living with a loved one's drug or alcohol use to reduce stress and live a better life. If you just hang on for 1 second, I am going to share this to my Facebook. Okay, so yeah, I help women in particular, but also family members who are living with a loved one's drug or alcohol use to reduce stress and live a better life, and to have the best chance possible of getting a loved one into treatment, which I know is one of the things that most families really, really care about and focus on. Here's the thing. That might not happen. Your loved one may not change. But what we can do is focus on you as an individual, as a human being, as a worthwhile, loved human being, so that you can live a much, much better life. So I help my clients by working with them and teaching them effective strategies to cope. We have a really strong emphasis on personal well-being, and the way I help my clients is through one-to-one programs, through group work programs, and also a brand new membership. So if you want to get hold of my top 10 tips called 10 Ways to Family Recovery, then you can grab it here. This is pretty much where a lot of my content comes from. So if you head over to vestaapproach.co.uk/freebie, you can get hold of my top 10 tips to family recovery straight into your inbox. You don't even have to talk to anyone. So let's get on with today's topic then. What are we talking about? We are talking about how to have those difficult conversations with your loved one. So this is what I spend a lot of my time working on with my clients. Let me know in the comments if you're watching, or if you're watching on replay, feel free to drop me any questions. And if you prefer, you can message me on whatever platform you are on as well. So why do we have to have these conversations? So the reason why is because if you don't, nothing is going to change. So some of the strategies that I teach are around positive communication. And why that's really important is because as a human being, you are able to communicate positively with another human being without there being conflict, or at least minimizing the conflict. You have a right to ask for and to search your boundaries. You have a right to have things around you that you want to have around you. Okay, so that's the why. The what. So what do you need to do? What I would do when it comes to planning a difficult conversation is literally map it out. So if you really want to learn how to do this, rewatch this video and pause it and do what I'm asking you to do. So what you can do then is think about anything that you keep getting stuck with your loved ones. So is it about the way they speak to you? Is it about the fact they are taking drugs around you? Is it, about how they are with the children? Whatever it is, whatever your relationship is, there are going to be sticking points that you keep coming back to that are probably causing conflict and lots of arguments. So what gives you that feeling in your gut that really winds you up, or that's something that you really want to do something about, but you don't know how to do it? So the fact is, you can just have the conversation. And it's as simple as that. I know it's not simple because it's hard, but unless you start having these conversations, then, nothing is going to change. I can't state that enough. So what are your boundaries? Have a look at one of my other videos about boundaries. What drives you up the wall? Write them all down and move on to the next step. Okay. So the when. When do we speak to our loved ones? Do you speak to them when they are intoxicated? Yes or no? The answer to that is no. Why? Because when they're intoxicated, you don't want to be having deep and meaningfuls with them. They probably don't really care what you're saying at that point. You're going to be wasting your breath. You're going to get frustrated. You're not going to be heard. Okay? So that means that, yes, it is really, really awkward, but you are going to have to rock the boat when things are going okay. So if something has happened, speak to them as soon as they are sober. It's got to be in the moment. It can't be that, the day after you're all right with them, you're acting like nothing's happened, etc., which I know most of you will have done quite regularly. But you need to speak to them as soon as they're sober. It's kind of got to be in the moment, right? Not maybe in the exact moment because your loved one might be intoxicated, but as soon as possible afterwards. And a lot of women that I work with say, yeah, but I just don't feel like it. And it's like, I understand that. Sometimes you've got to give yourself a bit of time to get yourself in that place where your emotions have subsided, and that's fine. But don't let it go on for too long because the moment will be gone and you'll have missed your opportunity. I speak about probopportunities, which is not my word. Liggy Webb, check her out. She's amazing. She taught me it. And from every problem, we get an opportunity to change things. So you need to kind of do that as soon as possible. If something is niggling you, you don't have to wait for your loved one to get intoxicated and do it again for you to process it. Even if it's not in the moment and it's something that you feel like you have to share to carry on with your life and, have a better relationship with your loved one, then talk to them about it. You can say, I know this is kind of have gone beyond the point of when it happened, but I really need to get this off my chest, and speak to them. Okay. If you need to set a boundary with your loved one, or if you want to praise them, because praise can be a really difficult thing to happen as well for family members who are living with somebody else's substance use, but we got to get used to offering that praise when somebody is doing well as well. But if you have that boundary that you need to state to protect yourself and your own health and well-being, then say it, right? If you have some praise to give, just say it. So the more you do this stuff, the easier it's going to get, trust me. Okay, and the where. So what works best for you, what works best for your loved one. So think about it. Like, does your loved one, and do you feel most comfortable having a sit-down discussion and planning it out and saying, okay, after work, we need to sit down and have a chat? That doesn't work for everybody. So how else can you do it? Quite a lot of people like to have chats without eye contact, right? So really good way of getting around that is in the car or going for a walk or something like that. So think about that. Where is the best place that you feel most comfortable and that your loved one is the most likely to respond? It isn't always a sitting down in like a counselling position, all right? Because you're not counsellors, are you? Well, I'm guessing nearly all of you aren't. So think about that. It doesn't have to be sitting face to face across the table with like a coffee or whatever. Who needs to be involved? So the next thing is the who. The fewer the better. I don't like interventions. I don't hide that fact. For those of you that don't know what an intervention is, go and Google it, have a look. Nobody likes their business being discussed with the world. So although you may need support, and it's important not to keep secrets and tell lies, having other people, every man and his dog in a room to have a difficult conversation probably isn't going to go down too well. So pick the people that need to be involved. It may just be you if it's your stuff. It may be you and a partner if it's a child who is having problems with substance use. Okay. But what you want to be doing with anyone that's living in the household is be giving a clear message, and the same message if possible. But don't worry too much about that. That can be really overwhelming. It's just sometimes about you creating a change, because one person creating a change within the household can impact on everybody else within it. And the how. So this is the important bit, right? So we can use I statements or I messages. And all that is I feel when, in future, I would like it if. And it can be a full conversation, just saying that. It can lead to a really healthy discussion and conversation. But once you get that off your chest, you're telling someone how you feel. Nobody can argue with that. You're avoiding you this, you that, you the other. You're showing them compassion, you're showing the love and care, but you're asserting what you want to say in a nice way. So I feel upset when you are drinking around me. In future, I would like it if you let me know if you were having a drink, or you were planning to have a drink, or if you go into another room, do you think that's possible? Otherwise, I'm going to take myself away from the situation. So you can't make somebody else do what you want to do. Sometimes it's about you having to take yourself out of it. That's another story for another day, right? So avoid the you, focus on the I's, show your love and compassion and consideration and care, but most of all, show yourself that as well by saying what you need to say. Don't fill any silences. Don't feel like you have to fill those silences. Be prepared to listen and walk away if it gets heated. Not in a strop, just say, I can see this isn't going that well, so I'm going to go and we'll come back to this later on. Ultimately, you've just got to do it, because what's the alternative? You do nothing and nothing changes. So if you want any help or support with your loved ones' substance use, please drop me a message and get in touch. If you want to download my freebie 10 Ways to Family Recovery, head over to vestaapproach.co.uk/freebie and you can grab that there. Every week on a Wednesday, I am also on Clubhouse as well. I will drop the link in below to the club. Please come and join us on there for a chat and to share your experiences. We would love to see you. Take care, and I will be back next week. Bye.